The dissenting whispers of those who may have doubted me have been put to rest. The realm is more stable than it has ever been, protected from threats both external and those within. Now, it is time to look outwards as my father did, and build the legacy my family deserves.
Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following the House of Drengot. Now, you will probably be able to tell right off the bat that things are a little bit different here in the Kingdom of Sardinia. Indeed, we have taken the suggestion that was in the comments of the last episode of changing up the banner of the Kingdom of Sardinia to match that of the House of Drengot. Unfortunately, we could not get the checkerboard pattern from our Dynasty flag, as that is an emblem and not a pattern, and thus would get rid of this black eagle. So we couldn't really fix that, so I decided just to switch up the colors here and change it from the green and the yellow to the Drengot red and white. And then I decided, you know what, why not just change the map color as well? So I switched us over to this wonderful red color that just looks really sharp here on the map, and I would love to paint some more of the Mediterranean with this color. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this new color here for our brand new kingdom, and if you got any other suggestions for colors that you would rather see, but I'm thinking that this looks pretty darn good. Now, as we jump into the episode, as you will remember from last time, we were doing a little bit of housekeeping in order to prepare for Queen Fredesende's potential wars of conquest. Now, there were some suggestions that rather than looking towards consolidating our hold here over Corsica and fighting our Christian brethren that rule Tuscany, we may look more to the west here and perhaps to the other islands of the Mediterranean as potential options for expansion. And I quite enjoy that idea. Indeed, we may be able to win a war against the Amorids, but we will have to increase our level of devotion first. So, in order to do that, we shall be looking towards perhaps going on a pilgrimage that will give us a nice chunk of piety here, which will hopefully bring us in. We're actually not that far away. I don't know if one pilgrimage is going to do it, but it might not be too bad. So we're probably going to try to take a long one. I think our best option may be to go to perhaps, I feel like Jerusalem is going to be the best one. This will put us a tiny bit in debt, but we're making so much money right now that I'm not too concerned about that. We'll make enough money to cover that very shortly. I do have to take care of a few other things here really quickly before we set the time back on. I do want to arrange for some guardians and marriages or betrothals for some of our grandchildren here. So we are going to get you educated by, what are you? Learning education? Yeah, that's fine. Let's arrange for a learning focused person, perhaps Princess Wilma. Yeah, that should be fine. Not really too concerned about that, but I do want to find you a betrothal, and a betrothal with somebody who would be a good option. Now, there are a few different possibilities here. You know, a Russian Grand Prince, a Greek Duke, a Saxon Duke. There's a lot of distant nobles here. But honestly, I think most of them are too distant. Maybe a Lombard wouldn't be too bad, but really he's quite old and he doesn't really have a good reputation. I don't think we really want to get our granddaughter betrothed to such a man. But we do have our new vassal here in the Duchy of Corsica, who is 32 years old, so he's a little bit older, but he's a reasonable man. And he is one of our vassals, so it may be a good idea to arrange a marriage between him and our young granddaughter, or a betrothal, I should say. And that should cement his loyalty towards us. So I think that's going to be a really good option. And we do also need to look towards our grandson's education as well. And I think for that, perhaps Gerard de Bourg. He's got decent learning. I think that may be one of our better options here. Our sister, yeah, she doesn't have the best traits. I think Gerard de Bourg will be a perfect option to raise our grandson in a military way. So that's where we're going to line things up in that regard. Now, we also do have 2 other grandchildren, but this one is Muriella is with our husband here in Napoli. So we'll let him sort all that out. And Gilbert here is with his mother in the court of the Count of Maastricht. So, well, can't really do anything about that there. Why is she over there? I'm not really sure, and she doesn't really want to come back, so not much we can do about that. So we're going to just have to deal with that situation. Really, our 2 eldest grandchildren here are our main concerns. I would like to find you a betrothal proposition as well. And I took a look earlier through these as well and didn't really find a ton of particularly good options, but once again, a little bit closer to home, we do have some better possibilities. Now, Princess Amelanine of Sicily is just a few years older than our grandson, and she is not married. She is distantly related to us, but that's kind of expected at this point. So I think that will actually be a pretty decent match, and it gets us an alliance with Sicily here, which is pretty big. I would love to continue the good relations the 2 Norman kingdoms have, and her father has a lot of troops that could be useful to us in the coming years. So this should solidify the safety of our borders here to the east, at least a little bit. So I think that's really going to make a big difference there. So we can now jump in and get time started. As I prepare for my journey, I know that I will travel safely under the protection of God. My destination lies far from home, but in service to heaven, even my own realm must wait. It is time to depart. There we go. He accepts our betrothal proposition, as does Duke or King Roger as well. So things are looking pretty good. And we should get our money back right away. And we are still attempting to sway Duke Marco as well. So he seems to be coming over. We could try to really win him over, and I think it shouldn't hurt to try that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Spent a little bit of prestige, but you got to take risks sometimes. Jerusalem attracts pilgrims from all over the Catholic world, so it is not inconceivable that I would run into Duke Henry of Burgundy on my journey. What is inconceivable is the insolent way he has treated me, cutting off my entourage on his horse and calling me a witch, to my face no less. Ooh. Well, it is times like this I am reminded Jesus commanded us to turn the other cheek. I mean, we are cynical, though, so I'll teach that whelp a lesson. Yeah, you know what? We could get the trait athletic, but no, I think we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna teach this guy a lesson. Yeah, there you go. Take that. I don't know what we did to him. I assume we just maybe like ran him off his horse or something like that somehow. Like, obviously we weren't like going into combat with him. We are a 57-year-old woman after all, but I mean, you know, I'm not opposed to teaching him a little bit of a lesson there. As my party passes through a small town, I notice a throng of people filling the market square. At the center, a man stands on an overturned fish cart, shouting wildly to all who will listen. "The day of judgment is nigh. Repent, repent, I say, or you shall be damned for all eternity." The worried townsfolk nervously whisper to each other, fearing the doomsayer's words. "I'm sure glad this pilgrimage comes with an indulgence. This man is not a priest. Cast him down." Ooh. Although getting the stress loss would be nice, we really want to maximize the prestige we're getting from here. So yeah, we're going to get that. And that should give us a little bit of a boost towards the prestige there. I'm finally here, body and soul, at the great church of Jerusalem. As the bishop offers me blessings, I reflect on everything that had to happen for God to bring me here at this moment in time. A whole lot of walking. Just like our father, we are cynical, but we are doing this in order to win over the religious authorities, in order to gain their sanction and muster support for attacking these lands and bringing them back under the banner of Christendom. So we will gain the trait Pilgrim. We'll get a ton of piety, and that's pretty darn good. How close are we? Ah, sweet, we are faithful now. So once we return, we should be able to, declare war for the duchy here. So we're definitely going to do that. We have tons of allies here, or we can get allies. Let's see if we can arrange that. Negotiate alliance. He will not accept because he's a claimant, right? Well, I'm still thinking that we could probably win this one. Even with our one ally in the Duke of Auvergne. That should still... we should still be able to make that work. He's got a lot of troops. But who are his allies, actually? Let's see here. This young man here, this one here, and this one not too worried. This guy I'm a little more worried about. He has enough money to maybe bring up some mercenaries, as does this one here. So I still think we could probably win this one, though. We do have some really strong troops, a lot of really good retinues. So I think that should be good, although maybe we'll save up a little bit of money just in case, and we can get a few mercenaries just to ensure our success. And we return home from our pilgrimage, and no doubt the Pope will sanction us. Oh, what's going on over here? Let's deal with this event first. The commoner of Sardinian heritage has been accosted in the streets of Cagliari over some minor offense. By making a statement in their defense, I could perhaps convince my Chancellor Duke Marco, the equally Sardinian, of my good character, but I might risk alienating my Norman peers. Normans are of superior moral fiber, or we could win him over a little bit more. Well, I mean, Normans are of superior moral fiber. That was a tough, little bit of a tongue twister there. My cousin was taken prisoner after the Pope won the battle here. It looks like he was rebelling. Yeah, Count Jonathan, I should say, rebelled against the Pope. That's rather interesting. He was excommunicated. Well, I mean, like father, like son, right? Right, guys? That side of the family, you know, I kind of understand some of the people who wanted to see Count Jonathan, you know, perhaps take the throne, but let's face it, that side of the family has just been a little bit of a liability this whole time. So really, did we want to get involved with that? What happened here? Oh, he got his county revoked. Oh, I think. Oh no, he's still got it. We'll see if he keeps it. And we're just gonna, like I said, let our money tick up. And perhaps I do want to look into getting court physician could be nice, but also a court tutor. Yeah, okay, let's get our sister as the court tutor here, because I would like our grandchildren to learn some extra languages. Have her study the Italian vulgar language, that's good, and you can study the Italian vulgar language as well. There we go. Would like them to know the language of these lands, so that'll be pretty helpful. Jonathan left the prison. He was stripped of his lands. Yeah, the Pope has Capua now. Well, the Pope does as the Pope will. Will you join our court, perhaps, Jonathan? Maybe if you're lucky, we'll let you have a county or something, perhaps. We'll consider it. We may have some lands here in the future to let him look into. So yeah, we are just gonna save up a little bit of money. Holy Order, we could call up. Oh, maybe we don't need the mercenaries. Maybe we call up the Holy Order. Yeah, if we are at war with the hostile faith, we should have enough piety. Yeah, okay, let's do this. You know what? Enough waiting around. Declare the Holy War for this duchy here, the Emirate. Let's declare that. And with that rising crescendo of music, let's call in the Knights Templar. You know what? They screwed us over once before. The least they could do is make up for it by helping us win this war. So that's going to be a lot of troops. This should not be very much of a difficult war, I'm thinking here. So there we go. Yeah, look at that. 10,000 troops. It's going to cost us a little bit of money to move them over into the Mediterranean here, but I'm fully willing to pay that price. I'm also going to stop my sway scheme here. I don't think it's necessary anymore. He likes us quite a bit, so I'm good with that. And let's just land right here in Majorca. Oh, and watch this. We're gonna just hammer him right off the bat. Let's jump into this battle here. Who's leading our army? Gerard de Bourg. Makes sense. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, why isn't Queen Fredesende ruling it herself? She has been, heavily involved in military affairs and her interests in that. But I don't think it's necessarily that she wants to be in the thick of battle, fighting and leading the armies herself necessarily. She is more concerned with the grand strategy element. She is a delegator. She puts her best soldiers in charge of commanding the armies, and she is the one who manages arranging the troops, getting alliances, and preparing for these wars to come. So she is very much a strategist rather than a tactician, so to speak. So yeah, she is going to remain in Sardinia while Gerard de Bourg will lead this battle. I should probably consider making sure that my counselors are not getting involved in all of this. It's probably too late for some of them. Our player heir, he is... We think we're actually going to forbid him from joining in those. Forbid my chancellor. Forbid my husband as well. And looks like the rest of you should be fine. We just don't want to have, our family getting maimed and killed in these battles. Let the soldiers handle that. That's what they're for. And we just destroy their army easily there. We capture one of their faris, and we will quickly siege down their lands here. I don't think that this is going to take very long at all. They won't even have time to call in. Yeah, they've got their allies coming in, but we destroyed their forces so thoroughly that even their allies won't really stand a chance here. Oh yeah, look, they're gonna bring their troops onto this island. Well, we will go and quickly crush that army as well as soon as we're finished seizing down Majorca here. And even if they bring in other allies, you know, I'm not too worried about this at all. There we go. This shouldn't take too long. Oh, well, look at that. And we captured him. So after his army was defeated outside of the walls of Palma, and then he was forced to hide within his castle walls, we sieged it down and took him prisoner. Is this his heir? Well, I mean, I suppose we could probably ransom his heir back to him for a little bit of money. Why not? And, you know, even though we've got this war won, well, you know, I was tempted to crush the army here on Minorca as well. And, you know, I think we're still going to do it. It costs us a little bit of money, but I think we need to teach them who is the boss in the Mediterranean, and that is us. So why don't we just drop our troops off here and destroy their army. Yeah, easily done there. Do a quick overview of those battles. And as you can see, well, just the one captured prisoner in this one, but their armies were decimated in that battle. And I use that in the figurative sense of the word, since we definitely more than decimated them. And same within this battle, some injuries, a few of their knights killed. But overall, a pretty successful and swift war. So let us enforce our demands. And as you can see, the islands are ours. So that gives us, I believe, the opportunity to usurp the Emirates here. Yeah, the Emirate of Majorca. What do we need? We just need a little bit more money. So we'll do that as soon as we get the money. And we'll find somebody good to rule over these lands. And, you know, I'm considering the option of having our cousin Jordan rule over them for us. Although he has been a bit of a troublemaker at least for the Pope. He is our cousin. He may be a good option for that. Oh, Lady Mayor Rosalind of Capua. Oh, I see his daughter is the mayor of the city of Gaeta. That's actually interesting. I didn't really know that could happen. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we will put Jonathan in charge of that. We'll just have to hold on to it for a little bit until the title is able to be usurped. So we're going to get that marriage all done and dusted there. Our granddaughter is now married here. She's got a nice little hat as well, which is very good for her. Yeah, nice little marriage there. So there we go. Queen Fredesende's attempts to expand her rule here are going fairly well so far. That was just a minor victory, though. Mercenary hire cost, not too opposed to that one. I did mention that we were kind of going to go down the strategist route, though, so perhaps we could look to having better men-at-arms. I am not opposed to that at all. Our domain limit's a little high, but that's fine. We just need to save up that 250 gold to usurp that. Oh, and we can ransom this guy. Well, that'll make things a little bit easier. There we go. Now we can usurp the Emirates. Why can't we do it? Oh, he's fighting a war. That's unfortunate. Oh boy, the outbreak of smallpox, which has ravaged my court. I didn't actually know we were being ravaged by smallpox. I do not remember the event that said that was happening. Finally, we are safe. Well, that's good. I'm glad that we are not being ravaged by smallpox anymore. Who's attacking him? Rebels. Well, he's probably going to lose this one pretty soon here, so we'll be able to usurp the title shortly. We do have some rebels thinking of rising up there. So I'm not too... I think we're going to switch over and try to start converting these lands here in order to get a handle on the situation. Yeah, so we just need to let this tick down, and then we can usurp the title, and then we can decide who is going to rule over the islands in our stead. Are these each counties? Yeah, okay, so this is 3 counties, and one of them has a city on it. All right. Where would the next option be? Well, I still think that there is a consideration of taking the rest of Corsica for ourselves to really consolidate our realm. And we may have the options for that. How many troops can he call upon? We do have the slight advantage here when it comes to troops. He has no allies he could call upon, and he is embroiled in a war with the... Oh, well, he was embroiled in a war with the Holy Roman Empire. We'll definitely consider that. I want to sort this situation out first, though, so yeah, things are looking pretty good. Fredesende's rule is honestly going pretty well in these first few years. We're a little bit worried about Tancred, of course, but, well, there's not much we can do. Tancred will be Tancred, honestly, and let's just hope that Tancred Jr., well, he's Craven, so... Oh, well, the next couple generations will be something else, that's for sure. Well, what can you do? You can't change them all. Our counties are resisting conversion because Bishop Raynor sucks. And that's just been a running theme of things for a while. Alright, peasants, looks like they've got this war just about wrapped up. Hopefully they will, yeah, there we go. They should have their revolt. Looks like a success. A night visit. I am poring over a document at my desk when I see an adorable little girl scurrying back and forth in my room. Upon seeing each other, we both stare in confusion. So I ask her who she is and why she's here. I'm cold and hungry, she mumbles shyly. Feeling sorry for her, I point to some food I had left on my teller and table to eat some. Who is this random girl? I suddenly wake up, realizing I must have dozed off while reading, and that little girl must have been from a dream I had. I go to finish the rest of my food, but contrary to what I remember, none of my meal is left, save for a few crumbs. The next morning, when I ask about her, I learned her appearance matched one of my guard's daughter, who passed away from illness a few days ago. During the smallpox? Perhaps? The guard, a devout Catholic believer, tells me he is certain I helped his child's soul pass into the afterlife, and thanks me. She was a polite, kind child. She is surely now at peace in heaven. Or it must be a coincidence. But if thinking that way makes you feel better. I mean, I know we are cynical, but perhaps we would say this simply in order to, well, I mean, I'm not sure how to take this, because like the temperate trait I think means, you know, is like the sign of somebody who's like thinks about things a little bit more. So maybe she would say just like whatever, she doesn't believe it, but you know, she'll say this to this guardsman just to like, you know, he can believe what he wants, honestly, and if it makes him feel any better, all the better for him. My courtier, Wilmote, has insisted on seeing me, even though I have made it known that I would rather be alone. My impressive queen, it has now been a long while since you last showed yourself at court. We all do our best to try to maintain appearances in your absence, but a Sardinian court cannot function without the queen in attendance. My long absence from the royal court has left it leaderless and without purpose. My courtiers are increasingly comparing their circumstances to those of prestigious courts like the Byzantine one. It's time to pay my court a visit. Yes, I agree. I had actually intended to do this, but got caught up in events of war. And somebody did recall me to make sure that my dynasty banners were placed up, and I definitely did forget to do that, so there we go. Our dynasty banners are placed. Let us hold court. First, let's see what this guy's all about. My grandson Tancred is sitting on the floor surrounded by spilled paint and pieces of canvas for the third time this month. My courtiers whisper about him being an artistic genius in the making, but the servants complain about scrubbing the floors free of paint in the wake of his inspirations. This has to stop, or his genius will be nurtured. I mean, the whole point of having servants is for them to clean these things. They should not be telling the grandson of the queen not to paint because they don't want to clean it up. That's up for them. That's not part of their job. They need to just do what they're told. So we'll let him paint. You know, he may be a coward, but at least maybe he'll be an artistic coward. All right, we are going to hold court here. Let us bring in some petitioners and see who we have. My lady, I regret to inform you that the religious situation in my lands is out of control, says Mayor William of Alcudia. That is in Majorca. I've tried to make my subjects see the light of our true faith. Too many of them persist in their wrong beliefs. I beg of you to use your authority and power to help me. Rainer, see what you can do. We are already trying to do that. Peaceful coexistence is always the best solution. No. Sounds like your problem. No. All right, Rainer. Ooh, well, we'll gain critical stress. But we're going to do it anyways because I do think we want to convert those counties. So we'll have to suffer through the stress. It happens. I am faced with Fortunata's sad eyes, which grow larger and more pitiful as her acquaintance Maud gently ushers her towards my throne. Queen, she laments, the girl has been at Otavia's court with no one to watch over her since the disappearance of her dear papa. Please look to her future. Who is this girl? What can be done with such a child? She is the daughter of Mayor Otavia. She's a bastard girl, ugly. My hands are full, but I shall find her a home. We're not gonna make her a Drengo. Raising a child is not cheap. Unfortunate, but, well, fine. We'll find somebody to raise her. My perceptive Marshal Gerard bows before me, his trusty hammer glinting at his side. I have served you faithfully, my liege. You know of my charge against Sheikh Sidre of Tarragona amidst the plains of Minorca, but I am no longer young. I bid you invest me with my own lands in your kingdom. Other lords have been given far more for far less. Gerard de Toron? Ah, he has served us pretty ably. Can we arrange for you a marriage before you go? Well, we're not going to marry you to my granddaughter. She'll give you Minorca for your service. You shall have Ajaccio, Duke Markel's title. No, this is a lovely hammer. Oh, we could get his warhammer from him. No, we're not going to take his warhammer. As you say, we shall put that to the test. I think we will grant him the County of Minorca. I think he earned it. He was a pretty good warrior, and I'm sure he'll continue to serve us faithfully. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, and court is now complete. Excellent. Things went pretty smoothly there. And let us strip this man of his title, if we can here. Yeah, usurp the emirate here. Boom. That is all done. And now we do have an extra county here. I think I wouldn't mind giving that to perhaps somebody small who is deserving of it. Somebody who we don't really need in our courts. Doesn't look like we have anybody though. All right, where's Jordan? Or Jonathan, I should say. All right, Jonathan, you're going to get another chance. You are family. Let us give you something to do. You shall have the County of Ibiza, the County of Majorca, and the Duchy of it as well. There you go. Rule it well, and in our stead, Duke Jonathan, you shall no doubt prove yourself a more worthy man than your father, I should hope. And that really solidifies things quite well in our kingdom here. We could still hire a court physician, so I think we will look for one. That would be nice. We are getting a little bit older. Can't hurt to have a court physician after all. And we do have an empty council position. And yes, perhaps... Gerard de Bourg, you have been just solid this whole time. Jonathan, well, he is a duke, but I think he likes us enough already, so I'm not too concerned about giving him that position. Gerard, you are probably the most able there. You can help get control of that county as well. And there we go. Things have gone pretty well. Oh dear. Well, it looks like Queen Fredesende is much like her father and having lascivious thoughts. I have mispronounced that word many times. Actually, I've mispronounced a lot of words in this series. You gotta forgive me for that. I think I switch every single episode of the way I pronounce courtier. No consistency to be found here, but if you're looking for consistency, you might not be in the best place when it comes to pronunciation, that's for sure. I think we're going to bite our lip and try to stay focused. I don't think we're going to be rakish. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Reclusive, maybe, but I feel like Queen Fredesende is just the type who's just going to try to push on, honestly. We could call for a hunt. Could lose a little bit of stress there. Oh, let's look for a good court physician here. A herbalist, not too bad. Or somebody who likes to party. Let's probably go for the herbalist. I do imagine might be the better option. She's a lot younger too. So that should be the better option by far, I imagine. And there we go. We've spent quite a bit of money, but we've also made ourselves a lot of gains here. While I'm in the midst of drilling my heavy cavalry, Duke Jonathan approaches me as I sit atop my steed. He avoids my gaze and stares at the ground. After much hesitation, he speaks up. My lady, all we ever seem to do with our armored horses is charge them directly at the enemy in a straight line. Is it not time we attempted another approach? Ha! Good one, Duke Jonathan. Fool, there is no finer stratagem known to man. Ooh, actually, nice. Perhaps you have a point. Crushing charge. Heavy cavalry damage. We do have some cavalry now. And 300 martial lifestyle experience. Yeah, you know what? We were the ones who learned from our father, the great King Jordan. I think we know a little bit better than Jonathan here as to what is the best tactics. Now, I am tempted to go to war here, but let's just do a quick look at this event. Weeks ago, amidst a most bizarre stone structure was found in the wilderness of Tortoli. Those who saw it claimed that this structure is shaped somewhat like some kind of gate. I sent a couple of officials to investigate, and in their report they confirmed that indeed this large stone, as high as a tall man, resembles the arch of a door. Some peasants had tried to move the stone previously to make use of its material in local construction projects, but the stone would not budge. Furthermore, some people now believe that it may be a portal to another realm. Whether a fearsome one full of demons and other horrors, or some heavenly paradise, they do not know. But there's growing apprehension in the community. Big stones lie all over the place. Leave it be for now. But to put our people at ease, assign some guards to it. We're not going to guard a random archway. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. We don't have the troops to waste on that, honestly. Yeah, I don't think we can face Tuscany right now. They are too powerful. So we may need to look elsewhere to continue Queen Fredesende's expansions. But we will be doing that in the next episode. If you guys like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more episodes coming out in the future. We will be continuing both this series and the Clan Stjarna series as well, so make sure to go and check that one out. Until the next time, I have been Stray. You guys have all been absolutely wonderful, and we will see you all in the next episode.